smokers, guys, look at that stock market here today, down once again. Look at that NASDAQ now under 11,000 at 10,009 and 59 there, okay? Down 2.5% for the NASDAQ here today, down 274 points. Look at that 5-day chart for the NASDAQ. It's just pretty much down, 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 and down. And the NASDAQ peaked, what was that, about 2 months ago, roughly, somewhere around there. And I believe the NASDAQ was somewhere around 12.5, somewhere around there, roughly 12.3, 12.5. And yeah, now we're at 10.9 now. S&P 500 fell another 1.2% here today. It has been a rough past 5 days for the S&P 500. And Dow Jones Industrial Average was the least bad of the bunch, okay? That one was only down 157 points. But remember, this one has had a pretty dramatic fall the past 5 trading days alone, okay? Look at this here. Dow drops 150 points as Wall Street posts worst 1-week sell-off since March. That's all I got to say about that, okay? That's scary. Anytime you get put in the same category as March, it's a little scary. Let's just put it that way, because remember, March was pretty much the worst stock market crash, at least the fastest stock market crash we'd ever seen, right? From peak to trough, it was something like, oh, what was that? A 35% move in like 22 trading days. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, it's been a tough past week or two for the stock market, needless to say. Some would even say scary, and tomorrow is Halloween, and it has just been scary in the stock market recently. And maybe that's not even the scariest part. Scariest part is election day is this coming week, and we're only a few days away from election day, guys. Only a few days away now from election day, and this is going to be massive, okay? So in this video, I want to go through a few different things. The first is, like, what the heck is going on in the market, okay? Number two, what should we expect from the market next week? Next week is election week. Like, what in the world is about to happen, okay? And number three, we're going to talk about some stocks to watch, some interesting values potentially out there in the market. There's definitely some more opportunities I'm seeing in the market now that the market's had a rough past couple weeks. Let's just put it that way. So definitely more ops out there than usual, all right? Hope you guys enjoy this video. As always, if you don't mind, smash a thumbs up. That helps the YouTube channel out massively. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for the algorithm. I appreciate you, okay? Also, if you haven't gotten a chance to get in Stock Hub yet, do it. It is absolutely free. You can chat stocks with a bunch of other investors out there, and it's a lot of fun in there. Alrighty, guys, let's start looking at this. Stocks fell on Friday, led by major tech shares as Wall Street wrapped up a difficult week in which Roni cases rose quite substantially. U.S. fiscal stimulus talks broke down, and traders braced for next week's presidential election. Holy smokers, man. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed down 157 points, as we spoke about. Obviously, the NASDAQ was down the worst a bunch, down 2.5%. The Dow and S&P 500 fell 6.5% and 5.6% respectively, and posted their biggest weekly losses since March. Wow. Those are some pretty big moves down for the market there, guys, okay? The NASDAQ lost more than 5% over that time period and also had its worst 1-week performance since March, okay? Those are some pretty big numbers for the market in general. The losses just add up, and that one day when the Dow was down nearly 1,000 points, that was the big downward move day, okay? But just, if you're consistently losing points and points and points, like, eventually it's going to start adding up to some pretty big numbers. Look at this chart here, okay, by CNBC. Look at this. It shows you the last 14 trading days that I have circled there, okay? Of the last 14 trading days, we have 10 days that were down for the market and only 4 days that were up for the market, okay? Which is a substantial difference, an absolute substantial difference in the amount of down days versus up days over the past 14 days. But it's not just the fact that there are way more down days than up days recently. Look at how much the down days are down versus how little the up days are up. We're talking about substantial differences. I mean, there's at least 5 down days that are much bigger than even the biggest up days for the market, okay? Think about that for a moment. That just shows you how severe the market's kind of been over the past, couple weeks in the trading market. It's down and down and down, okay? That chart is self-explanatory there. We see things like this, okay? Mitch McConnell expects Rona stimulus in 2021, while Pelosi and Trump push for a deal sooner, okay? In my opinion, yeah, expect 2021 to be more likely than this year, okay? We've heard so many times that there was going to be a stimulus deal, and, where is it? Where is it? This still hasn't been done. All we got is that first one, and ever since the first one came out, there was immediately talk about a second one, and we got our hopes up in the spring and the hopes up in the summer, and now we're in the fall time, and it's just like, yeah, if it comes, it's likely coming in 2021. Let's just put it that way. We saw President Trump claim legislation would come immediately after the election, okay? But the question with that is, okay, is that if Trump wins? So let's assume Trump wins, he wants to push for stimulus, okay? But what if Trump doesn't win? What if he loses the election? Is he going to push for stimulus then? I think that's a big question. I think that's a really, really big question, okay? A lot of folks expect Joe Biden to win. If you look at the polls and things like that, doesn't mean he will win, but a lot of people expect him to win. So if he wins, is Trump going to push for legislation, or is he going to be like, you guys didn't vote for me, whatever, okay? We'll let Biden handle that. We'll have to see. That's going to, it's going to remain to be seen what happens in that whole situation. Look at this here, okay? And this was as of yesterday. As of yesterday, 83 million people have already voted in 2020. That's unbelievable, okay? We're going to have 100 million plus people, in my opinion, vote before election day even comes. It's, like I said, the numbers overall for how many folks are going to vote in this election, I think are going to be around the highest we've ever seen, or at least the highest in recent history, but maybe ever. And the numbers are going to be substantial. And the fact that we're going to likely hit 100 million plus voted for basically before we even get to election day, that's extreme, man. Absolutely extreme. And you guys know I'm on record going out there and I said, I think Biden's going to win. I'm just going to be honest. I am not voting for either candidate. I've never voted once in my life. I try to keep, I don't ever want to push a bias, but if you're forcing me to say who do I think is going to win, I think Biden's going to win. I got my hair trimmers ready. I said if Trump wins this election, I'm shaving my head because that's just going to prove I was wrong. So that's kind of my thing out there. I'm going to shave my head. I got the Remington ready, okay? And if I'm not using the Remington, we'll use the wall. Is that how you pronounce that? The wall razor. Shave off all my hair, which I absolutely hate. I got my gown all ready, okay? So if Trump wins the election next week, oh man, I'm going to have to do something I absolutely regret, which I hate. Because I like my hair, man. I like having some hair around. I hate having to shave my head, man. But Jeff Bezos mode 2.0, that will be activated next week if Trump wins. So hey, regardless if you're voting for Trump or against him or not doing anything, it should be an entertaining next week, okay? And so we see things like this, right? Biden, he wants higher taxes for corporations, right? And he wants higher taxes for people making over $400,000 a year, okay? Now, if you're looking at that on face value, that definitely could say that's a bad thing for the stock market, right? Overall, it sounds like it's worse for the stock market than it's good for the stock market, right? Look at this here. He wants to put corporate tax rates to 28%. From right now, they're at 21%. They used to be at 35%, okay? Then Trump lowered it down to 21. Now Biden's talking about going to 28. We'll see what happens there, okay? And also, you got to think about who mostly invests in the stock market. The majority of money in the market, right, is from people that probably make over $400,000 a year, right? It's people with money, sometimes multimillionaires, billionaires, those sorts of folks. They control a lot of the market and the money in the market. And if you're going to go up on taxes on them, that's less money they have to put in the market, which could be seen as a signal that is down, just not good for the market overall. Now, something very important to keep in mind here is just because you say you're going to go up on tax rates, it doesn't mean you're going to be able to actually get that through. And I think that's something not a lot of people even think about. I had to take off my hat just to show off my hair, just in case this is the last video I ever have hair and I have to shave my head after this video, okay? But needless to say, not a lot of people think about this when it comes to getting tax policy through. You could have all of these plans and, we're going to raise taxes here and raise taxes there. It's a lot harder to raise taxes than it seems on face value because you can't just do that by yourself. You need other people to approve that as well. And believe me, it's much easier to get lowering of tax rates and tell everybody, I'm going to lower your tax rate and I'm going to take less money from you than, we're going to take more money from you. So just because Biden has these plans does not mean he's going to be able to get them through. That's just something to think about. And if he does, it could take several years. Remember, when Biden takes office, obviously, you got the Rona situation to deal with, right? That's a whole situation. Then you got the stimulus deal to deal with, and then obviously just the whole situation of your new person taking office. Like sometimes it can take years to get things through, okay? So don't just expect magically overnight the tax rules to change, okay? I think, even when Trump came in office, it was a few years before he got his tax rules to be enacted, right? And that took years to get done in terms of it actually going through, and that was lowering taxes. Now we're talking about raising taxes for corporations and folks that make over $400,000. It doesn't always go through and snap of fingers, okay? That's just not the way it works, okay? Now, a lot of people are thinking that because basically, corporate tax rates could be going up, taxes on the wealthy, they're expecting a stock market crash under Joe Biden. That's what a lot of folks say. They're like, oh my gosh, man, just wait. If Biden gets in office, market's gonna crash, okay? Absolutely down to the floor, okay? I can't tell you how many people I saw saying that if Trump got elected, the stock market would tank, okay? Go look at all the past, if you could find in the past articles from around 2016. There were so many dang articles that were written out on there, and basically people that did videos, and I'm not talking about like YouTubers, I'm talking about people that went on like CNBC and places like that were like, oh yeah, if Trump gets elected, market's going down 25%, market's going down, 50%. Like people just making all these predictions, worst case scenarios and things like that. And the fact is, the stock market did not crash under Trump. It just didn't, okay? Even with the, obviously we had the Rona crash, right? But that even since then, the market has come back quite strong, right? When Trump took office, the Dow was under 20,000. And here today, even with all the drama that's happened, especially recently, right, with Rona and the economy having to shut down, still the Dow's at 26.5, and the NASDAQ's been a beast since Trump took over. I mean, NASDAQ's probably doubled up. I don't know exactly where the NASDAQ's at performance-wise since Trump took office, but I would not be surprised at all if the NASDAQ hasn't doubled since Trump took office, roughly 4 years ago. So yeah, the stock market, no, it's actually up since Trump took office, okay? And also remember, when Obama took office, oh my gosh. I mean, the amount of conversations and people saying Obama's horrible for business. The stock market's going to be awful for, as long as Obama's in there and things like that. Obama took office. The Dow was under 8,000. He left office. The Dow was nearly 20,000, okay? The fact is, at the end of the day, people just like to make these predictions about, oh, the stock market's going to crash under this president, that president. And the fact is, it's just fear, fear, fear. It's fear mongering at the end of the day. That's all it is. It's pure fear mongering. Oh, this guy's going to crash the market. That guy, it's whoever people are against, if it's Republicans, it's the Democrats, and they're all socialists, they're going to crash the market, they're going to crash all businesses, things like that. And if it's the other side, they'll use the same arguments and they'll say that guy's going to crash the market. He's crazy. He's going to do this and that. And it's all fear mongering, man. It's all complete BS fear mongering because people want their person to get elected, okay? The USA, you want to know what the USA stands for? You can't short the American economy or stocks, okay? Or get ready to take big L's forever, okay? The fact is the United States is a beast, okay? And you just can't hold our economy back. It doesn't matter who's president, who's in office, who's out of office, things like that. Maybe some presidents, the market, the economy, and the stock market in general might do a little better or a little worse, right? But at the end of the day, it's the United States economy, and it is a flat-out beast, and the stock market is as well. Look at the stock market throughout all these different presidents over time. Under some presidents, the market did really, really well, right? Under some presidents, the stock market was okay. But at the end of the day, what is the trend over time? Up, up, up and away. That is the stock market, and it's pretty much regardless if it's a Republican, Democrat, all those sorts of things, okay? And there's been weakness in the market in the past, whether Republicans were in office or whether there were Democrats in office. And there's been great markets, whether it was Democrats in office or Republicans in office, okay? The rest, just always remember, the rest is fear-mongering. Just simple as that. But with that being said, where's the market likely to go? The market's likely to go down. It doesn't matter pretty much who wins this election, Trump, Biden, or Kanye. Okay, maybe not Kanye, okay? But it pretty much doesn't matter who wins this election. Likely the market's going down, okay? Why? Well, just look at the facts. Look at the data in past times, okay? The past does not always reflect the future. Just because this has happened in the past does not mean it will happen in the future. But if you look, almost every single time, the day after, week after, and month after the election, the market goes down, okay? So once again, you can't say for sure this is going to happen, and this is why I'm not selling out of my stocks, because it might not happen, okay? Who knows, maybe this is the different time, and maybe this time the market goes up right after the election. Who knows? But the fact is, usually, doesn't matter who wins the election, the market's going down in the short term, okay? So you got to have some cash ready to take advantage of this. But it is going to be a crazy next week in regards to this whole election situation, and we might not know who the winner is on election night. And that's going to be the first time in I don't know how long. I mean, I always remember, basically the next president being announced on election night, because there's been so many mail-in ballots this time and things like that. We'll see. It could take days. It could take a week for the president to be announced. We'll have to see what happens in this whole scenario, okay? In terms of some stocks, look at this. Look at big tech here today, okay? The FB, they had beast earnings yesterday. Stock down 6%, okay? Amazing's on. Had a 9.5 out of 10 earnings I graded them on. Amazing earnings. The stock was down 5.5%. Apple had okay-ish earnings. The stock was down 5.6%. Google had beast earnings, and that stock was up as much as like 10% after hours yesterday, and it finished up only 3.4% here today with some beast earnings out of Google McDougal, okay? I mean, look at that. That's kind of like, wow, okay? Wow. That shows you there's real weakness in the stock market right now. Not just like, sometimes we go through these time periods where it's like, the market's just kind of moving around and it's kind of acting like, ooh, we're going down, and it doesn't really go down, okay? There's real weakness in the market. There's real fear in the stock market right now, okay? For those amazing earnings to come out and those stocks to go down, I mean, there's real fear in this market, no doubt about it. Microsoft, right? A lot of people thought Microsoft's numbers were amazing when they reported a few days ago. And don't forget, Microsoft stock also went down after those earnings. That's incredible, right? That shows you there's real underlying weakness and lack of confidence in the market at the moment. And there's also a lot of fears about 2021 being bad and no stimulus until springtime. And in my opinion, that's why the stock market is going down right now. And that's why these stocks that are reporting amazing earnings, like huge beats, like these companies are crushing their earnings. That's why the stock market's going down despite these amazing numbers, because at the end of the day, there are a lot of investors out there that have real fears about no stimulus coming anytime soon, and also 2021 being a much worse year than a lot of folks expected, because a lot of folks expected, okay, 2020 is going to be the huge trough, okay, and then 2021 things are going to get better and better and better. Now with all these Roni numbers getting worse and worse, there's a lot of true fears from investors, whether they're real or fake. There's a lot of true fears that, man, the 2021 might not be everything it is cracked up to be, and that's scaring a lot of folks out there, okay? Now, also very strange, look at the bank stocks today. This was very strange. Wells, the Bank of America, and JP Morgan all up today. Isn't that strange? Very strange. It's one of those where you scratch your head and you're like, how, what, how, what in the world? Like, what? I'm just so confused, okay? Very strange that those stocks were all up, okay? Now, also something I want to point out here, look at the high flyers. You notice this, okay? The high flyers tend to always get hurt much worse, and I mean much, much worse, when we are in a downtrending market. Look at Stitch Fix here today, down almost 10%, okay? On no news for Stitch Fix, it's just the stock was down huge, okay? Look at Revolve stock, RVLV. I love that stock, okay? It's been a high flyer the past 6 months. It's down over 8% here today, okay? Look at Tesla Maesa. We all know Tesla Maesa has been a beast for the last 6 to 8 months, right? And you look at Tesla, it was down 5.55%. I love numbers all in sequence, by the way. Look at that. I mean, that's a big downward move for Tesla Maesa here today, down $22+ a share. Look at Peloton, okay? That stock was down almost 5%. We know that one's been a high flying hot stock. Everybody buying those $5,000 bicycles, right? I mean, my goodness, that's a big downward move. By the way, if you're wondering, I still have my Peloton short position open that I opened like a week ago. And yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. So far, it's doing pretty well. I don't know what's going to happen. It's my first short ever, so maybe I lose money on this stock and it goes up a bunch. But in my personal opinion, I think that company is going to have a very tough next year. And when I say tough, it doesn't mean they have negative numbers. I just think think analysts are way too bullish, and I think a lot of people are setting themselves up for a lot of disappointment when it comes to Peloton stock because the valuation has gone so unbelievably crazy for that stock. I mean, when I shorted that one, I think it was at a $35 billion market cap or something like that for an exercise bike company. You know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Maybe I lose money. Oh well, I'll be able to take my L and say, dang man, I stink it short, and or maybe we make a little money there. We'll see, okay? Look at the cruise lines here today. You gotta watch these stocks, okay? RCL, Norwegian Cruise Line, and Carnival. I think these are interesting stocks to watch. You might not want to buy them, but at least like watch these stocks because they're gonna be entertaining. You know why? Because literally just today, CDC announced that, you know, these guys can start cruising again. So over the next 6 months or so, these companies are likely going to start back up their cruising businesses and start having passengers again, and we're going to see what happens. Like, you know, do they get back to normal, or do we start hearing a bunch of stories about Roni went crazy on these cruise ships, or what's going on? Okay, so definitely watch these ones, if for nothing else, for entertainment reasons. Okay, RCL, Norwegian Cruise Lines, and the Carnival Cruise Line. Okay, Real is a real opportunity in the market, I think. Okay, this one I might have to buy soon. Okay, don't tell anybody, but I might have to buy this one soon. The Real is a real opportunity out there. It's 12 bucks a share here today. I really like that one. You want to know another one I really like? Nikola. Look at Nikola, $18 a share. I'm just kidding, okay? Just kidding. Boeing, in all seriousness, Boeing, it keeps going down. It's down to $144 a share now. I can tell you guys, if this one goes to like $120 a share or under, I might honestly have to consider buying some Boeing, even though I feel like it's going to be several years, not quarters, years before Boeing's business gets back to normal. If Boeing goes to 120, under 120, going into 2021, I'm going to have to pick up some shares, man. I'll have to pick up some just because it's a great company. They will come back. It's going to take them several years to get back to normal. But goodness, I mean, at the end of the day, if the price is right for a stock, you know, if it's just super cheap, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll go ahead and buy it, okay? So definitely Boeing's a potential for me out there as well, okay? Get ready. It's election week, guys. It's about to be crazy, okay? So get ready, get your cash ready, get your money ready, get everything ready, okay? Maybe get other stuff ready. You don't know what's gonna happen in this whole election, okay? It's about to be crazy. That's all I got to say. And also, I put out a very helpful video probably about 2 or 3 days ago on my newest channel. It's called Financial Education 3, or you can just like type in my name, Jeremy LaFave. And go ahead and check out this video. Millionaire explains what to do in a stock market crash. I think that's definitely a video that will help a lot of folks out there. If you haven't had a chance to check out that channel, it's usually not even about stock market. That channel is mostly about like entrepreneurship, personal finance, things like that. But I want to put out that video on that channel, and it was just kind of like a low-key video. Definitely very helpful to a lot of you guys out there, and I hope you enjoy that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you don't mind, smash the thumbs up. It helps huge in the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate each and every one of you. Also, if you want to take stock market investing super serious and you want to try to get in my private group, learn all my strategies, be part of the group with all the 6-figure, 7-figure members, things like that, you can go ahead and apply in the description area. You know, the best time to get in the market and start taking things serious is when the stock market is going down and a lot of stocks are having trouble. It's not when everything looks grand and everything's at record highs. It's when the market is having trouble. There's a lot of fear out there, things like that. That's always the best time to get involved in the stock market. So if you want to go ahead and take that opportunity, first thing you got to do is fill out an application. First link in the description. Thank you for watching and have a great day.